All right, guys, getting ready to do a fuel pump change on a 2012 Fiat 500 Sport. This is a non-turbo Fiat 500 that we've had since new. It now has 147,000 miles on it, and I believe the fuel pump's out on it, so ordered a new one. It was kind of a mess. The other one that I tried to order was on back order, and nobody had a date for me, so a friend of mine suggested Rock Auto, and he actually looked it up for me on his phone, and he said they had two in stock, and one of them's a genuine Mopar part. It was $200 and something, but they had it in stock. So I had it in just a few days, which was really nice. This is the whole, what they call the module assembly. It does come with a new O-ring. And anyway, if you need to know the Mopar part number, let me set this out. That is the number right there if you want to pause the screen. Anyway, now one thing that I'm going to do first before I do anything is I am going to make sure what the fuel level says on the gauge. Yeah, one little square of fuel right there. Oh no, that's temp. Oh, it's almost full. This is my wife's car. I don't hardly ever drive it, so I'm not used to where everything's at. But yeah, it looks like it's pretty much full. So, all right. So when I put the new pump in, I want to make sure that it's, you know, reading the correct amount of fuel. Anyway, I think the back seat has to come out of the car, so she is actually in there right now watching a video on YouTube to see how to remove the back seat. I mean, it looks pretty straightforward. There's supposed to be a panel, I guess, in the floor that you remove the panel and you can get access to the fuel pump. So that'll be so much nicer not having to drop the gas tank and do all that. So anyway, let's get started. All right, so back seat removal was very easy. You just have to remove the bottom, and there's only two bolts. There's one here and there's one on the other side. You can clearly see it under the edge of the seat. It is a 16 millimeter, and it came out pretty easy. And then you lift up on it and you kind of try to push your seat belts there through the openings in the seat, which are right here. So you got to kind of coerce them a little bit to go through there. Anyway, there is the access panel for the fuel pump. Looks like a 4 Phillips screws, so I'm going to get to that now. All right, guys, so I didn't do any videoing of actually removing the pump. I had gas on my hands and I pretty much was just ready to get it over with. It's 100 degrees out here today, but anyway, I'll run you through this. So the lock ring that's on this is this big ring right here, and it has these tabs right here. You'll see these little raised tabs in this lock ring. So you want to turn this counterclockwise to get it off there. So what you have to do is stick a punch in the square cutout right here, hit it with a hammer. I was trying to move around, you know, one side to the other instead of focusing just on one side. I'd like hit it a couple of times here, and then I'd come over here and hit it on this side. Once that lock ring comes undone, because it gets to these wide slots right here, once it comes undone, it pops up. And at that point, you'll take this yellow safety clip right here, and you'll basically just pull on it to get it off. Just pull it, you know, toward the rear of the car. And I actually removed it. It slips out. You probably don't need to. But anyway, you'll raise that little plastic clip right there. Well, I'm not going to tempt my fate here. I don't want to break this plastic stuff. Anyway, you raise that little black piece right there up off the piece that's made onto the white part of the pump right there. And that's your electrical connector, and it just comes straight off. It's pretty simple. This one right here has a blue safety connector on it. There's a tab here and a tab here. You'll basically just push it outward like that. Try to do them both at the same time, and that blue piece will actually come off. You can pull it off, and then at that point on the back here, there is a square cutout right here, and you push in on it with your finger real hard or a flat blade screwdriver. Push in on that, and then this will release. And then on this one, this is the one I had the most trouble with, but it wasn't that bad, but I did have to pull the pump up just a little bit to get to the other side of it down there. This little tab that's sticking up here, this has to come up like that. So once it was up a little bit so I could get my eye down under there and see, I used a screwdriver down up under there and lifted that up. And then this safety clip right here comes off. This will actually pull off. And once that safety clip is off, again, right here, you just push on this. This right here is your release clip. So you just push on that real hard and then this will release. Now these are hard plastic lines, so they are difficult to, well, they're not difficult, but they're kind of a pain in the butt to hold them out of the way to get the module out. But it helped having a second set of hands to hold those back. Now this one was the simplest one. It has a little gray lock tab here, 2 tabs. You just push that in and this will release. Now we did have to remove that plastic gray clip off of the module once we got it out and put it on the new one. The new one doesn't come with this little clip, but it was very simple. Just push in on 2 tabs and pull it out. But anyway, I stuck it back down in there, and this thing is spring loaded, so once you get it down in there, it'll go in there and be like, I don't know, just a little ways up off of the tank, and you just got to go ahead and push it down with your hand to get it down in there, and then put your lock ring in, and then just start knocking it back on there clockwise. I think I had more trouble trying to get the lock ring completely locked in because it's really tight. But your new fuel pump will come with a new O-ring. This one was green, so I used a paper towel and some cleaner like Windex, anything you got to work, and I wiped that area out that the O-ring sets on. And anyway, then you drop your module in. Now when you go to take your fuel pump assembly out, it'll come up quite a ways, and then your sending unit float will actually hit this side of the tank. So you got to turn it, the top of it, toward the passenger side of the car. But be careful because it's basically a cup full of gas. So as you're trying to pull it, it'll start pouring out a little bit and running down into the tank. So just take your time and pull it up out of there. So I'll walk to that side and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So it is a good idea to have some kind of container in there when you pull this out of your car so you don't drip gas down into your carpet or something. But this is the sending unit float, and it won't allow it to come straight up. So once you pull it up, this hits the underneath side of the tank. So at that point you'll tilt it that way. And you can see the gas down in that. It's like it holds fuel. So as I was trying to turn it out of there, that's what it was doing. So that's why I was saying, go really slow. That way when it starts coming out, it'll run down the side and then drip into the tank. So don't be in a hurry and just grab it and pull it out. But anyway, guys, that is Fiat 500 fuel pump swap. 2012 Fiat 500 Sport non-turbo. I'm sure it's probably the same though for quite a few Fiats. So Fiat, whatever you call it. Anyway, thanks for watching.